All right, we are live on the King's Dime. We are on Facebook, of course, on Facebook Live. So come along and say hi. You can always find us on iTunes and Pod Addict, and you can find us on YouTube as well if you are listening. Today we've got the Taipans wash up from Monday night.
We have the good solid win over the Taipes.
Yep, finishing our away trip 1-1. We're coming back home, obviously, against New Zealand Breakers. We'll do a little bit of a preview of that, even though we haven't done any research because we're really good blokes on this podcast.
I've done tons of research, my friend.
Yeah. So,
tons of research.
Of course, you can always find us anywhere and come along and say hi to us on the stream, leave comments. It's always nice to hear from people. With a little dude interrupting, that's all good. So, what do we got? The Kings beating the Taipans on Monday night, 86-82.
Yep.
Good win.
Yeah, great win. Good to see the boys could get it done over Big Nate Jawai.
Yeah.
And Mello Trimble, especially they came off such a good win against the Breakers. It's great to see. I was a bit stressing that game. A little bit of stress, a little bit of wet pants.
Yeah.
Hoping that we're going to get... just at times I thought maybe not. But maybe there was a bit of a fight back. You know, Sydney likes to destroy.
I've kind of become accustomed to these games where in the third and fourth, it's like we look like we might lose the game, and then okay, we pulled it out, nice. So I'm getting a bit numb to that sort of stuff. And overall, it felt like the Taipans didn't have any powerful weapons to go to. Like they went to, obviously we'll talk about Jawai at the start of the game. Like he had a fantastic game, a great night in general for himself.
He's looking really good as of late in his old age.
The Bamaga Shaq, as I like to call him, he's an absolute beast. 148 kilos. He is
even Bogey was just like halfway through games like, yeah, when he's backing you down, there's not much you can do.
Yeah, and even the first game at home when I went and watched the Taipans game, just watching those two side by side, Jawai makes Bogut look small. And I was like, wow, that's unbelievable, like the size difference. But he showed some silky skills too. Like he wasn't using his power.
Yeah, it was a lot of holding the guys up and then the dish around the body. Did you see that one? That was nice.
in the first quarter, he had a couple of really good transition. Like he had that one dunk in transition. Kind of everyone got out of the way of that one. But he was doing a lot of sort of playmaking to give guys open mid-range jumpers and some contested mid-range jumpers. So in the first quarter, they essentially were shooting jumpers, and they didn't shoot very well. I don't have the stats with me; it's on my phone, but they shot 4 of 11 or 4 of 13, I think, in the first quarter, and a lot of those were mid-range looks. Then in the second quarter, they went to Jawai backing down and making sure he got like good post position, dumping off at the rim, which was having a lot of success for them. We started really well. David Ware started well. He knocked down a nice jumper early.
Yeah, shot efficiently this game. Did old David Ware? Travis must have been on the flight over.
Yeah, Travis is fly in, fly out, mate. That was
FIFO.
Yeah, it was FIFO in it, mate. He just flew in, flew out. A lot of good work up in Cairns at the moment, mate. And you make it as a basketballer. But yeah, no, I was just fascinated. Like we can talk about that battle against Jawai. Like it was just great to see the NBL, two big men going at it, and both guys had high quality games. Not just. Like, I was really fascinated how Jawai was using his post passing. I mean, we can talk about in general our double trap scheming. Yeah. Like, it was awful. Like, it was like, oh, tonight, boys, we're going to just try and double team him. Yeah, but we haven't trained for that at all. No. Just try, and we'll just try and make it work. Like, it was like we had Randall coming over sometimes.
It almost looked like we were unwilling to foul as well and send him to the line. It was kind of like the hands in the air double team instead of trying to and then he just threw the ball around one of them and whatever dunk. It was just like it was unintelligent double team.
It was awful. It really was horrible. We are a team that predominantly doesn't double team in the post, and I don't think we've played against a team that has a big man where you are going to scheme against, like you're going to say, this guy is too big, too powerful, we're going to get in his face and double teaming. It felt like we were cramming for an exam. Like, you know what I mean? Like tomorrow morning, we've got to cram for this exam. So, you know, if you can just run over and double team him, then double team him. And I think it kind of started to work. But essentially he was so savvy. Look, 7 assists, like 9 rebounds, 7 assists. Obviously he had 6 points. Shot 8 of 11. Like he had a great night. I think he started to get tired towards the end a little bit.
I think motoring around with 148 kilos is not probably the most efficient way to do things, but he's that impact player, that big body that's going to give you a solid 25 minutes a game. They just didn't really have anyone to go to outside of him to have that same impact.
Mello Trimble and Hall and Newell didn't play very well. And then obviously Walker got into some foul trouble every time he got on the court. He basically got a foul.
Some silly fouls as well.
And had to sit down. And I thought Bogut handled it quite well one-on-one. Obviously, it's a unique matchup for him.
It's probably the only one that tests him physically in the paint.
Yep.
I think even Sean Long doesn't test him that much physically in the paint. I think Bogut has enough skillful, but if Jawai is backing you down, there's not much you can do.
No, there isn't really much you can do. And then even when Bogut had 4 fouls towards the end, Gage was like, we're gonna double team him, we're gonna back him down. And to me, it was like, no, why are we backing him down? He's got 4 fouls. You don't want Bogut to foul out here. And then, because we did see once Bogut was off the floor, they were just taking us to town in the paint. And you could see where, and then Pinot struggling, like we had no rim protection and kick it. And it was so obvious for the first time this season. It was like, oh, wow, it's really obvious. We don't have any post protection here. I was almost expecting, if it was earlier in the game and the game was longer, you might have gone to Deng Akuth, maybe. And I was thinking, oh, this would be a really good night to get him out there and see how it goes. But we kind of survived that little onslaught a little bit in the third quarter to get out of that. So, but it was a shame because I was sitting there thinking, man, put Deng Akuth in, like give him a run here because we've got no protection in the paint, shot blocking or anything like that. But we just kind of ran out of time.
It's not even so much that he may not have been effective in the sense that, you know, he may have been back down a lot more, but it would have stopped guys potentially off the dish and the close and changed the way they were shooting, but they were just having their way.
Yeah.
But you're kind of going to get that feast or famine with Jawai as well. You're going to get 25 minutes out of the guy, and then he's going to get too tired to actually, you know, function in a fast offense. And I think Sydney really focused on pace of play in this game. It was a lot quicker. It was good to see. But we went through our cold snap where Randall really didn't do anything in the first half. He was 9 from 6.
He was 0 of 6 in the first half. And took some bad shots too. Very un-Randall-like for how he's been playing this season. Kind of the Randall of old that would just shoot his way into to a good spell. Obviously, his spell came after halftime, but I felt like in the second half, once he started getting rolling, he was doing a little bit more driving and kicking and driving to move the game around a little bit more. I thought our cutting was a lot better in this game. Like there was a lot of set stuff that guys would cut. Like Newell got a nice bucket off the Lish up screen, cutting to the rim. And then there was another one where Bowen was on the weak side and he came over with his man and both of those guys went over to Kevin Lish and he kind of just snuck backdoor basically, like right under the rim, wide open. Lish found him with like a no-look over the top pass for a wide open dunk, which was pretty good for him to get a nice dunk. The Taipans, like we came out pretty fast and it was good. Like I think we had 29 in the first quarter, 29 to 18 in the first quarter. Maybe coming off the long road trip. I kind of was expecting we might run out of juice here in the second half. I just think
that's, you know, Mello Trimble 7 from 20. Devon Hall 2 from 11. DJ Newell 4 from 16. I just think the Taipans took volume of shots. They play a fast game. They take shots early in the clock. They just didn't drop. They weren't taking intelligent shots against some good perimeter defense with Lish. And even Randall. Randall played really well defensively, I think, against Mello.
Yeah, he did.
And it looked like that was a matchup that he felt quite comfortable in taking on and taking to town and making shots difficult for. And it really showed, you know, 22 points, but, you know, below 35% field goal efficiency is a good defending on a high volume shot because really that's all they had to go to.
It was really the 3 points. I mean, he has 3 of 9 from 3. That's where he's kind of been doing a lot of his damage. He's shooting threes this season, and I still don't understand. Like the Taipans were 2 of 18 in the first 3 quarters from 3, so the shots weren't dropping at all. And then in the final quarter, they had 5 of 11 to kind of make their percentage look a little bit more respectable. 7 from 29, 24%. I still don't understand how teams don't shoot well against us.
I just think it's that stress of we have no option because Bogut is sitting there than to just chuck up threes. It's this kind of psyche that they've gone about as like, oh, we'll just hit a 3 in a corner, or we'll just do this, and they're not dropping. Oh, let's just keep volume throwing. Because usually the way guys get hurt, okay, I'm not shooting threes. I'm just going to go and lay the ball up a few times or put some post moves on or a little inside floater that'll get me hot, but they can't get hot.
Yeah.
They can't actually get a rhythm. Adnan played quite well, I thought, in his minutes. Bogut, stats freak, 15 points, 5 from 7 from shooting, 17 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block. Just crazy good night, as always. He's got to be the MVP candidate in terms of consistency.
Yeah.
There's just defensive player of the year.
Yeah,
most likely.
I think he's going to be defensive player of the year. The only thing is he's scoring, really, but he's not a volume player.
But 15 points a game is great. Lish, I think, averages 13 or 14 a night.
And in the context of this team, it's important too. I mean, that's 15 points on 5 of 7 from the field.
Yeah.
That's, shooting free throws as well. He's actually shooting the ball quite well from the free throw line. I think, is he shooting 50%? I think we might have looked at it in the last one and it was around 55%.
Yeah, it was Simmons-esque stats there. Not the best free throw shooter, but that's not where you got it.
But in this game, 71% from the line is respectable for him knocking down shots. They're important points because we've been missing free throws left, right and centre this season.
Big shout out to Brian Bowen, who played probably his best defensive game. I think he crashed the boards excellently.
Yeah. He got some good rebounds, really good through traffic, getting up above everyone. Yeah, it was good to see.
Really pulling down aggressive boards. Because really, he's the only guy we got that can pull down an aggressive board. Kickett couldn't jump. Although we did see Kickett get up for the dunk.
We asked in the stats pod whether he could dunk, and he delivered. It was a good dunk too.
Yeah.
There was so much action off the elbow from guys coming around the corner into the lane. I don't know if we tried to work on that. I'm not sure. That's Newley's bread and butter. Is the angle into the post where he gets that body movement and he can score with the right hand. But he was getting a lot coming around the corner, some screens up high. I'm not sure. Maybe because Jawai is large and he can't overhelp and get back and contest shots at the same time. So I'm not sure. It felt like we tried to run some more stuff like that in this game. Newley, obviously, 10 points. Got all his free throws. That was good to see him
the old alligator.
do that. And then Kevin Lish, he's a bad man. He can shoot off the dribble.
He hit some very timely threes.
Yeah, clutch threes. He hit some clutch threes in that loss against Illawarra too. Yeah. He's basically the only one out of nothing that can create his own three. And he had a couple where he just held the guy up, held him there. I'm going to shoot it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to shoot it. And then just shot it and it was nothing but net. It was great to watch. He played really well. Defensively, again, he's our best perimeter defender by a long way, I think.
By a country mile.
2 steals. Jerome Randall had a steal. David Ware, I thought, played all right. When he seems to get a bucket early, that's where he starts to come alive.
A couple of nice dishes as well.
Into the game. Yeah. That nice one for Bogut in the lane where I think he drove at the rim, went all the way under the basket into Bogut to fly in for the slam, which was pretty good. That was one of White's fouls, and it was a bit... I don't think he got him, but it was still good to see. Jerome Randall, 6 assists again, 16 points. Obviously, 0 of 6 in the first half, and then he had 6 of 12 in the second half. So great little sort of comeback performance. That shot near the end, I think Lish hit 2 threes, and then Randall came across the lane and shot this really wild JJ Redick style falling sideways 2, long 2. It was an awful shot. And I'm just thinking to myself,
that's not your bread and butter.
Get Lish open, please.
Yeah.
This guy's just hit 2 or 3.
There was a bit of that turd patch in the fourth where you're just they could creep up here, Cairns, and then it kind of got about 6 points out, and you're like, all right, this is safe. This is just going to get to foul time, and we're not going to miss that opportunity to take this game. But it was a bit Pinot.
Again, I can't remember him even doing anything in this game.
He just turned the ball over once.
Yeah, that was it. Didn't put up any shots.
Fouled once, turned the ball over once, didn't rebound, didn't shoot. 6 minutes of non-efficiency. He's got to do something to get his game charged.
Yeah, or fit.
He's fit. But he got really punished by Jawai. He got punished by quicker guards. He got brought out of the paint. They just exploit him. As soon as he comes on, they go to the rim. Yeah. Or
Bogut's out. Let's try and make hay while Bogut's off the floor.
Yeah, pretty much.
it sucks for him because he's the guy that has to come in on that first line of the rotation.
Yeah.
Usually, I think he played all the minutes, I think he played about 9.5 minutes, Bogut, in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Usually, Pinot comes on a little bit early and plays about 9 minutes if things are going really well. I would like to see Daniel Kuth. I really would.
I want to see what he's about.
In these games where it's obvious that Bogut goes off the floor and we have no rim protection. Not that this wasn't a night where, this was a night where I thought the Taipans could have gone inside and scored, but at the same time they're doing smart things. Like, we don't need to score. We're passing out of the post. We're doing other things that are smart enough. And it was something that we hadn't really seen this year. Like, usually some teams just, we'll try anyway. We'll try and go through Bogut, and then he gets 4 blocks and we protect the paint.
Yeah.
It just kind of showed like a different, like Bogut's really good when guys are going at him and like the defense funnels guys to him.
Yeah.
But maybe if you back him down and you really try and get into his body, that's where he's going to be exploited maybe, but he wasn't really exploited in this game. And then, Adnam, he played well off the bench. And that was pretty much it. We shortened the rotation. We didn't see any Deng Deng or Tom Wilson. Obviously no garbage time in this game. Didn't really help.
I think, from those comments, I think we had a look at these. There was an article this week where Gaze was asked, should we spread the game to 48 minutes? And I think you should. We're not seeing deep rotations. We're seeing the same 5 players each game, getting the same minutes from every team. We're not seeing them go to their full roster. Young guys aren't getting a chance. It's not the style of basketball that we should be playing.
Well, I think it'll allow the league to do a little bit more in general. Maybe, the standard of the league is probably growing at a rate that calls for an expansion of the rules. Maybe some better education for the refs. We'll just sneak that in there.
Yeah.
Even though the refs were pretty good in this game, I thought there was a couple of dodgy ones. But you're right. And that's I think why I found that Jawai Bogut matchup so fascinating, because it was like, oh, this is something we haven't seen really this season.
No.
A big guy actually going at Bogut in a way that made you think this is high quality basketball. Like, usually it's just Bogut is a defensive monster.
It's a bit of maybe
guys.
Conklin or Ogilvy for Wollongong, but Illawarra, but even then they get blocked a fair bit, and it's just like, Bogut's monitoring. But Jawai was just like, all right, I'm going to hold this ball up.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to dish it around. You've got 7 dishes.
7 dimes,
7 dimes for a big guy. That's some smart play, along with 16 points. Efficient playing, good rebounds. He got 5 offensive boards.
Yeah. A lot of those were how many boards did they end up with this?
17 offensive boards.
That's a lot.
That's ridiculous. A lot of it was from long rebounds from bricks.
Because I've noticed that teams that shoot a low percentage against us from 3
get higher
tend to have a lot more boards. And that mainly is we push in transition, so our guards are looking to move in transition off a rebound.
Yep.
And our guards aren't very big. Obviously Bowen got a lot of low, rebounds down low. And he got another one. He got a dunk where he was right under the backboard, basically.
Yeah.
He gets trapped under there sometimes. And he got another one of those dodgy fouls too. But I think we're just going to have to live with that, really. I don't think it's something we can clean up. If you want to be fast in transition and play the way we've been playing, I don't think it's something we're going to be able to clean up, because the offense crashing the board against us will lead to, if they don't get the rebound, that's 2-on-2 or 2-on-1 up for us, which we can exploit. And that's what we want to do. Also, Bogut seems to be just the main rebounder. Everyone get out of the way, Bogut's got this one. Instead of, I've got my man, I'm boxing guys out, and he's getting the rebound. Feels like guys ball watch a little bit too much.
Yeah, that's Newley. Newley's a ball watcher.
And even Ware's a little bit of a ball watcher. I think he only had 1 rebound in this game, and it was offensive, which was a good offensive rebound. I think it was in the second half. It's something we've got to work on, but at the same time, it kind of is a symptom of the way we play.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if we're going to really curb that.
The symptom of the way teams play against us as well.
Yeah, true. Because I found that Illawarra didn't crash the boards against us.
No.
They were really worried about, let's not crash the boards. They're dangerous in transition. And even though we ground to a halt, we were still kind of playing in a way that looked a lot better. But the shots just weren't going. Whereas in this game, it was kind of more of an all-round game. Like everyone was playing well. Even the Taipans played quite well. It was just Devon Hall couldn't get anything going. Even DJ Newbill played pretty poorly in this game as well.
Yeah.
4 of 16. He did have 11 points, but you'd expect 1 of 7 from 3. Like he was just tossing up bricks all night. Apart from that, Rob Lowe got another 17 minutes. I don't know.
Kind of looks like Ron Baker.
It kind of looks like Robin Lopez. Looking like a bit of a gormless fool out there.
He's not too skilled on the b-ball court.
Loughton, I think he had 200 games. He was 300. Sorry, he came off the bench. Not too bad. You know who? Like it felt like every time Kiwani was on the court, like he was doing something really good.
Yeah,
it felt like he played more minutes. I looked down here and he played 3 minutes, and I was going, "Oh, that's."
He's a guy that gets pulled pretty quickly, and sometimes has some really good games, and then is not allowed to do anything. He's kind of like a hustle guy that they need, but never gets time. And this is the problem with the 40 minutes. It's just like he would get 9-10 minutes. Yeah. If there was hustle plays when they're tired. Like he's the guy you want at the end of the fourth, just like hustling for the ball. And we don't get that because there's only 40 minutes in the game, which annoys me to no extent.
So it was interesting to see here the Cairns Taipans had 50 points in the paint and 9 points from turnovers. We only had 34 in the paint and then 14 from turnovers, so we exploited that. But I think we shot a lot better in this game, like just general shooting. David Ware was knocking some down. Kevin Lish is obviously knocking them down. Randall in the second half was knocking them down. I think it'll be interesting. I think we've got to play them one more time.
Yep.
At home. So I
should be a whitewash. I'd expect that the W there.
Well, I'd expect them to at least try and play the same way against us again. Start Jawai, because Jawai came off the bench, I'm pretty sure, in the first game at home that I watched. So it's just a different thing. Like we hadn't really seen this type of hold the ball in the post action against Bogut. It really kind of negates his ability to block shots, I think.
Yeah, the more you hold off, and the less just ineffective double teams though. There's two guys standing up in the hands like doing that, and you're like, someone
and coming from the ball. Like the weak side, like running 12 yards over the other side of the court, doing this, and it's like, and then a couple of those bricks were wide open too from that guy double teaming, and it just it wasn't very good, that scheming, but it felt like we don't want to do that, and we'll just throw this together for tonight because this
is what he's doing.
Paint, and it would be nice to kind of see our team play like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Add that, oh, wow, it was good that we went to the double team tonight and it worked. But we're not really a team that plays like that. We don't double trap up high either very often. I noticed Cairns didn't play full court press much either.
Thank God.
Which
it was it's a bit nice. I hate full court press.
Yeah, it helps us a lot.
Yeah, it does. It helps us a lot. But then, you know what? Full court press can go eat a fat one. I hate it. That's all I have to say about that matter.
Shall we move on to the Breakers game?
We shall. So we are coming off. They're coming off a few wins. I think they've won 6 of their last 8.
Wow.
So starting to gel as a team. Ty Wesley playing really well. Boone playing really well. Long.
Long, yeah.
Sean Long playing really well. Big call. Best center in the league when he's not in foul trouble.
Yeah. Has he had any good games against Bogut?
No.
That's
he gets monster by. He's not a smart center against an intelligent player.
Foul trouble.
He gets foul trouble straight away because he pokes and prods. Tries to, when Bogut goes up for the dunk, he tries to get out of his way. He's 7 foot. You're not going to block him, and then he gets the stupid foul, and he's got 3 fouls sitting early in the second quarter. But he's leading them with 9 rebounds a game. Offensively, Ty Wesley 15 points a game. 3.7 assists. Look, I think that our game matches up best, one of the best ways against New Zealand. It's quick, high ball with long shot clocks, which they don't like. They like to get out in transition and not slow that game down. They'll hit 115, 120 points a game if they could. But that slowing the game down, but also the ability to move quickly in transition throws them off. It's not a free flowing game. It's kind of like that stop-start jank game that they're not too happy with. Yeah, but last time Shea Lee played terribly. They all played
2 times he's been just really poor. And Ty Wesley is a guy who we've generally had trouble with. If you look at who's the guy from Melbourne, DJ someone, but even DJ Newbill in this game, that is similar. That number 3, who's kind of a bit chunky, like a Jordan Jet style guy. If they get going, it's that mid-range guy that we don't have a guard or anyone who can get on. Like Newley's a bit.
They're a little bit bigger, the guards, and Randall gets exploited in this matchup. But again, he just seems to rise to the occasion. And when he gets exploited on defense, his offense just goes through the roof.
They didn't seem to run him off many screens in this game, which I thought was interesting. Maybe because Jawai can't, like, it just expends a lot of energy for Jawai to run up.
Well, in order to move around Jawai, you'd run out of fuel, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Dude's massive.
I'm just looking at here. DJ Kennedy for
Kennedy,
Melbourne. He's that guy who, like, Ty Wesley's that kind of similar guy where he's that mid-range kind of chub guy is someone that we sort of struggle against.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how he plays. When is that game? Friday night?
Friday night, 7:43 p.m. according to the NBL website.
The NBL website's all over the place sometimes.
Terrible. But it's going to be some interesting matchups. I think Sean Long Bogut is just a great matchup.
Yeah, it's good to watch.
They're on a 2-game win streak, but they've won a few of their last 8 games. Look, 90 points per game they're hitting way more than us. They like to have that fast-moving game. I think they're probably one of the better teams for bench depth as well. But yeah, I'm looking forward for the Sean Long matchup. He's got to be shut down by Bogut. I think he's done a little bit of talking, and I think Bogut will put him in his place pretty quickly.
Yeah, he has done in the last couple of games, and then we've obviously got Illawarra at home, so a little 2-game home stretch for us before we go home again to Adelaide. And then we go away to the Bullets. So I'd like to see us 2 out of 3. Maybe the Adelaide game is a bit of a banana skin this game. I feel like we can comfortably beat the Breakers.
I think we match up against the Breakers well. If Oldfooter and Turner hits 5 from 5 again from Adelaide, then...
Did you see his flop the other night?
Yeah, that was terrible.
And the Hawks, I feel like we've got to go out and take revenge on the Hawks. Yeah,
there's definitely a little bit of a...
I'd like to see a reaction from that game. Like, they pulled our pants down. Let's
a bit
really
harder, get out front early and actually ride the wave instead of just playing catch up against a team where they really shouldn't beat us with no outside shot threat.
No, you're right.
Because you've got the ultimate rim protector. You've got some guys that are 5'6", and yet you beat us playing our own game with no outside game. So
the other thing too in this Taipans game is a lot of lob threat in this game. I felt like we were going to the lob a lot.
Yeah.
I think twice Bogut had 2 lob finishes. One where he looked like he put his whole hand through the net, like the ball was basically in the net when he was putting it and throwing it down. I'd like to see that. Like, that has to come out 3 or 4 times a game. Like, it's such an easy play to run.
Yeah.
Where we the high double screen and then Bogut just cuts off the guy helping. Usually it runs well with Kickett because Kickett's an outside threat. But he runs it all right with David Ware. David Ware's not the worst knockdown shooter off a catch and shoot opportunity either. So we got to run that a little bit more. But I still felt, our plays kind of looked like they came off a little bit more in this game.
Yeah,
they were working a little bit better.
Definitely went back to the drawing board and did some good stuff with that.
So we'll hopefully see that against New Zealand on Friday, and then Saturday we will bring you another stream. Hopefully there's some people watching.
Yes,
Saturday morning.
Old Richie McDonald's commenting on.
Oh, come on, Richie. No need for that, mate. So that's about it. Good win, 1 of 1 on the road. We can't win every game, I guess. We'd be 21-0.
But that was the important one, I think, in the big scheme of things. It takes us, a little bit clear of number 7, who are now 4 games behind. It would be nice to get one more win moving through the next couple of rounds. I'd like to see, if we can't win one game this weekend, would be nice.
Yeah.
We really need that top 2 spot to secure that home berth, because home seems to be a bit of a fortress for us as well.
All right, I think that's about it. That kind of covers it, and we'll.
It does indeed. Remember to like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, everywhere. YouTube, Facebook. A lot of people talking in the group, and it's good to see a lot of people watching. It's good.
Very indeed. And if you're into the NBA, Aussies Taking Over the NBA is our premier NBA podcast. And you can find that on YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, and all your good podcasting apps.
Yes.
We'll be back Saturday morning.
We shall. We'll see everyone there. So make sure you're there hungover on Saturday or something like that.
Yeah.
After the game.
After the game.
All right.
Peace.
See you, peeps.